let's start. I want to go make. I already have a camera on that clover plot, but I want to make a scrape on that cedar tree that I left. That's why I'm so far behind the cameras right now. Those deer run out of there. They're in here all day long. There's a fawn just ran through that cedar tree. Today Anders and I are out here. We got the gator driving around the new farm doing a big cam deployment. This is something that I'm way behind on, but I'm dedicating this week to getting cameras out on a lot of the properties that I hunt, trying to find some deer back. So throughout today I'll talk about some of the bucks I'm most excited about, and just what I like to do to try to take inventory. It's early August right now, so it's a time when the bucks start to become a little bit more visible. I'm starting off in this is the first year clover chicory plot on my farm. I've talked about it before, but it looks phenomenal for a first year plot, and there's so many. I've had a camera on this one. I haven't had a scrape set up. I just got that all teed up, but there's so many deer in this camera probably takes 600 pictures a day. A lot of does and fawns, small bucks. There's in here every hour of the day pretty much. So love to see it, but I wanted to get this. I left this cedar tree in the middle of the plot for this reason, to set up a mock scrape. Got that teed up, added a little pre-orbital to the actual trunk of it too. I want it to be a rubbing post. But this is the first one of the day. We got a bunch to do. I'm really excited to see what shows up. Obviously, being a new farm, there's that exciting feeling of not knowing. But I'm ready for some good deer to start showing up. Everything else is looking really good. The projects are coming along really nicely. Now it's just time for the deer to show up. So this is a spot I'm excited about. Hoping that mock scrape will up the buck activity in here too. Alright, mock scrape number 2 set up. The biggest mistake, obviously I love setting up mock scrapes in the summertime, especially as we get towards late summer. I think it's the best inventory tool out there. But one of the biggest mistakes that I've made over the years, and I see other people make, is when you're setting them out this early, you hang the licking branch too low. Obviously it depends on the tree. So you saw the first one was a cedar tree that's it doesn't have leaves to lose, so those branches aren't gonna raise up. But like this pin oak, for example, when it starts losing its leaves, all these branches are gonna raise up high, all that weight, when that weight comes off. And so this time of year I like to try to shoot for like belt height or waist high for the licking branch, knowing it's gonna raise up closer to chest high by the time the leaves start falling. So just something to keep in mind. They're still going to use it when it's low this time of year, but I'd rather have it be a little bit lower now and at prime height once they really start working these scrapes. One buck I'm looking forward to finding back. The problem is he doesn't typically show up. I think I have one summer picture of him ever. doesn't typically show up till like the first week of October. But he's a Big Ten. Had a really cool encounter with them last year. I believe he's a 5-year-old. I was tagged out when I had the encounter with him. But I honestly think he was bigger as a 4-year-old. As a 4-year-old, he looked like he had a ton of potential to be a giant. And I think he actually lost a few inches going from 4 to 5. So really anxious to see what he looks like this year, see if he kind of bounced back to form or if he's similar to what he was last year. I do have pictures post-season of this buck. No sheds or anything, but you know, I'm thinking he is still alive just based on the postseason pictures. If he is, this would be, I believe, my 4th year of history with that buck. So he's definitely one, maybe not number one, but he's definitely one of the top few bucks that I'm looking to see if he's still around and what he looks like, mostly just because of the history. Well, welcome to the mineral stump plot. This plot was a lot of work, but it's an area with almost 100% dead or dying ash trees. Most of them were completely dead, but obviously well on their way. But from that standpoint, it set up really well to create into a plot because I didn't have to take any good trees out. But what I decided to do, at least for this first year, is to cut these stumps off about 18 to 24 inches in height and let them re-sprout. You know, we've all seen it where you cut these trees off, they re-sprout, and the deer just hammer all those new shoots. And you see some of these new shoots. I cut these a little bit earlier in the summer. Got everything cleared out of here, pushed the brush to the sides, tilled, fertilized, packed, and seeded this. And the germination looks phenomenal. I seeded this 6 days ago, and this is the One Plot ASAP blend. And man, this is going to be killer. Got some really timely rains. But just the way this plot kind of snakes through, there's a bottleneck here, there's some really good trees, I have great access. I think this is going to be a definite encounter spot. The deer are going to feel really comfortable. It's completely secluded, which is hard to find and hard to combine that with really good access. So this is one of my favorite spots so far on the farm. Anders and I were just talking. It's going to be interesting to see which areas the deer come from to enter this spot. Because really this farm in general, they could come from everywhere. It's one giant bedding area for the most part. But I do think, I feel pretty confident in where I have a stand location picked out to not bust too many deer. I think they're pretty much going to come from all areas except maybe that side. So, man, I'm super pumped with how this looks right now, the germination and everything, and can't wait for the first hunt out of this spot. Every single one of these shoots, his brow's nipped off already. Just another attractor to this spot. I'm about to go put a camera down in the woods here, close to where I hung a stand early in the season, or earlier this summer I should say. But another buck I'm looking to try to find back is a buck that I had one picture of during the rut, and then he showed up a little more frequently late, but I'm hoping it's a little bit of a byproduct of not having enough cameras. It was a property where I only had 1 or 2 cameras out, and didn't really hunt it a whole lot. But you know, if I can get on him a little bit earlier this year, find him back, and you know, try to figure out a little bit more where he's coring up, he could be a really cool buck to target. I think he's mature. I don't really know what previous year's history I have to really go back and look, but he had just a cool drop time buck with a lot of character, and he had a big old bite, so I'm assuming he was 5+ last year. But I just got to try to, it's a deer that I don't know a lot about, don't know where he lives necessarily, and I didn't really have that much food where it was, so I don't know why he showed up late, potentially gun pressure. But my goal is to try to, utilize a couple more cameras and some scouting to try to find him back a little earlier, and maybe I could get on him. During these summer months, really all season long, I'm using the pre-orbital and the calm and curious, and then usually mid-October, well, sometimes early October on the intruder, but October in general is when I'll start integrating some of the other scents. But these two work really, really well for inventory. Just 2 or 3 drops of the pre-orbital on a licking branch, 3 or 4 little sprays of the calm and curious on the ground, and that seems to work really well for me. So that's kind of the day walk system for the summer, and as we get closer to opening day. It was a productive day at the farm. Had some camera overheating and battery issues, so I wasn't able to close it up. I think I got 8 cameras out, which about a camera for every 20 acres. So I'm pretty happy with how it's sitting right now. Excited to see what shows up, like I said. One other buck that I wanted to kind of close things out with, I'm looking forward to seeing back, is another buck I had an encounter with when I was tagged out last year. Just a big frame 10. I don't know how old that deer was. He could have been 4, could have been 5, but just a beautiful frame deer. One that, I don't know if he's still alive or not. He could have gotten shot last year. So we'll see if he shows back up, but he would certainly be top of the list as well. So it's a fun time of year. I'm going to try to get out and do some velvet filming here soon. Like I said, the cameras should start showing some familiar faces. I love getting the mock scrapes out this time of year, ideally a little bit earlier. But for those of you that have purchased Daywalk and even last year had good results with it, I appreciate all the feedback. It's awesome to hear. One thing I was going to mention too is for you rope guys, I do have ropes added to the Daywalk line. Those are live on the website. These are 4-foot versions. They come with a little hanging system, and they're actually going to come packaged, ozoned, vacuum sealed, rubber gloves, all that stuff included. So for you rope guys, they're nice and convenient, and you can order those at any time. So appreciate all the support, and hope you guys are starting to find some of your bucks back and shaping up to be a lot of fun this season.